Well, good morning to all the beautiful people out there. And good morning to us ugly people too. How is everyone today on this beautiful, well, it's a Thursday morning here where I am. Oh, have we got a trade set up right this second? Missed that. So I haven't had a chance to check my targets yet. I sort of have got a... Hang on, I need to check these levels. I've got my auto indicator on. But I just need to do a quick check on these levels. Okay, so this is this is the previous day. That's okay. And they're okay-ish. And overnight I drew, but I haven't checked them. Overnight is 6 o'clock to 9:29. One's okay. That one's a little off. That one's a little off. Yeah. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Okay, I'm going to get in a sell here. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit disorganized here. I'm going to get in a quick sell
Order
here.
filled.
Haven't got my glasses on, so I'm half blind. How are we? Where the hell are we? Let me get out of here.
Order working. Order working.
Sorry, guys. Okay, all I'm doing there is going off the previous week POC and targeting down here, heading back into the overnight. Let me just concentrate on this trade and then I'll fix up these levels. A bit low there. 150. Might have missed my opportunity. I think I probably should have got out here. We'll see how we go. Okay, so that's the previous day. The overnight is slightly out here, so my auto indicator tool does an okay job. So it's the overnight very high. I need to put in manually. Overnight value high. Far out. Overnight value high. What are the rest of the levels like? So it's only that one. A little bit out, but that's okay. It's sitting on the previous. POC is okay, and the value high is okay. Alright, so it's just that one. Let me save that, make sure it doesn't move or change. Okay, where are we looking? How's my trade looking? Am I dead? Am I dead? So far we're coming back to the previous week. POC. Hopefully we're going to bounce off this, off my VWAP and head straight back down to here. And let's close this up here. So the previous day POC is up at 309, which is, how far are we? Okay, so we've got a bit of room here, so should hopefully be pretty cool to come down here and test this again.
Order filled.
Yay, finally. Okay,
Order cancelled.
so that one was alright. What did we end up getting? 255. Okay. That's a better start to the morning. Last couple of mornings I've started bad. Okay, so I've got my levels. I haven't drawn this session. Let's draw this session and change that to session. And the only difference with these levels is that the current session there's no fixed point yet, because we want to follow this whole range to 9:30 to the New York Open. So I'll keep this open, and the way we do that is extend right. So we'll extend this whole session through this whole Asia London session into the start of the New York Open. So, which I'll do later if I'm on board, but I probably won't be, so I'll do tomorrow. My time. Yeah, so that was a nice, quick textbook trade. And that's why we don't hold too long in these. We don't presume it's definitely coming down here now. We now monitor what's happening around this area. So we want to see if the market wants to take the next level down, which is the overnight POC. At 29,105-ish. Or is the market going to take up, try and track back up higher here to the previous day POC? So the New York session POC, which is up here at 310. So that was a good start. Let's hope it continues. Now, what would I have done here? After this trade, what would I have done? I would have basically just monitored these levels again. So we are above the previous week POC. So that is the first level we'll monitor. But because we've got some stacked POCs down, or stacked points of interest down here, and I've made a first trade, I'll probably just wait and see a little bit around here. Let's see the Australian Open, or the Asian pre-open. So we've got 20 minutes left for that. So I'll just monitor what's going on here for starters before I jump in again for another trade. And we'll see what goes on. So if the market holds above here, I suspect we'll chop a little bit until maybe the Australian Open. Now we're building above this area a bit. I think I would probably be more inclined to maybe take a long from here. So the beauty, well, I don't know if it's a beauty or whatever, but I try and force a bias out of my head. I just trade the levels. So I was in a short. To be honest, I'm probably more thinking, because we're starting to build structure up here above the previous day value lows, more inclined to think we might be heading with strength. So heading up with strength. But we'll see. I'll wait till 7 o'clock now. I'm not gonna try another one just yet. But if it makes the right movement down here, I'll see. I'll see how we go. So nice fair value gap here, which is a pretty good candle at 607. So if we can claim this, mitigate this fair value gap, I think my next move will be that. So monitor it. It'll just depend what level we come down to. So ideally I'd like it coming and tagging here, and that will get me that's 100 ticks. I'm just testing the next trade opportunity. In an ideal world, I want to keep a bit of this fair value gap here, bounce off this down, and get rid of that. Maybe something like that. Yeah. I like that trade there. If the market gods give me that, I'll probably look at something like that. Yeah, so what's on my charts? I have the SMA 200, the 50. I've got the VWAP. So I like the VWAP, probably I like the VWAP and the 200, just basically telling me where we are in the market. The 50, so the 200 is the red one. That's the 200 SMA, smoothed out median average. And that's just saying over 200 1-minute candles. This is sort of the 200, that's where the 200 average. That usually indicates we're in if we're under it, it usually indicates we're sort of in bearish territory. And we're under the 200, we're under the 50. 50 I just use more as a visual. Even the 200, I don't really trade off it as such. I just like knowing where I am in the market. The VWAP is got a reasonable amount of value. The market tends to, like when there's a gap between where the market is and where the actual VWAP is, the market tends to try and well, it acts like a magnet, sort of. That's where the market tends to sort of try and get back to, in my experience. And that's sort of how I use it. Like if you have a look along here, where it's majorly away from here, it starts tending to try and get back there. So it might not happen straight away, as that's the whole session. The whole session here, the market was bullish. It was above the VWAP, but see how here, it's trying to find it. And so when the 200 was sitting up here, when we went under it, there was a bearish move. When we're above it, we're in a more bullish environment, a bullish market. So that's all it sort of, I don't use it to trade, just more as a visual, just telling me exactly, because I see this now, because I've sort of looked at charts for, too long. It just sort of sits in the back of my head where we are. I don't even really go, oh, where's the 200? There it is. It's sort of just there. I see it, and it tells me, okay, we're bullish here, being above it. Now we're starting to come down into a bearish environment, or bearish structure, I should say. Where's the market? Sorry, probably very annoying for on stream when I'm moving the chart in and out. We've got some news here, have we? At 9:30. What is that? That's 9:30. Hang on. Oh, that's the US. So 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. Start a New York session. What is that news today? I'm gonna have to go over to my other laptop. Excuse my shoulder. And as anyone who's sort of followed me knows, I don't. Okay, so that's the FOMC meeting. Okay, yeah, that'll probably have a bit of bit of oomph to the market. Anyone who follows me, I don't really follow the news too much. That shows on the chart anyway, so when there's big moves, the chart will show it. And I don't trade the New York session, so it's sort of not really anything I get obsessed with. The thing that does catch me out is what is his initials? DJT? Mr. Trump, anyway. I'll call him Mr. Trump. I still call him Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump's tweets. they can sort of cause a bit of a dent in my trading. And for whatever reason, it's always the opposite of what I'm... Like, I haven't been caught that many times, but I have been caught a couple of times, and it's always opposite to what I'm doing. If I'm going short, he'll say something and, the war's over, basically, sort of stuff, and I'm on the other side of it. So that's why you've got to have your stop losses. You've got to have stop losses in, especially if you're scalping like I do, or little smaller, little base hit moves like I do, because you can be at the other end of that pretty quick. Alright, so the market's moved down to the previous week. POC has gone through rather than bounce off. If it was going higher at this point, it would probably bounce off there. What's the time? Have I got time? I like this move. Do I? What level is that? It's a 160. So if it doesn't mitigate this area here, and when I say mitigate, if it doesn't clean through this fair value gap, I would like this trade a little more. It's gone through it anyway. Because that would have been a good target, and it would have sort of made sense for my trade if it had to come down a bit lower. That's right. Don't have to take every entry. I'm looking, if I can, I'm going to try and get perfect entries for what I'm seeing and feeling at the time. Now, perfect entries for the AJ doesn't always work out, but that's what I want to try and stick to that anyway. So if that had to come down, and look, to be honest, because there's a couple of stacked entry points here, it is better to forerun it a bit anyway. So that would have been probably a good trade. But that's okay. Plenty of opportunities. That's the beauty of how I'm trading now. Hang on, is that the overnight? That's the overnight. Yep. The beauty is how I'm sort of trading now. I get heaps of different opportunities coming up through every hour. So I can step in at any point in the day and have a bit of a plan. Not waiting for perfect entries at the bottom or the top, which suits my trading style if I've got because I don't know. I think my weakness is also is my advantage as well, that I have my plan and I look for the perfect entry. Now in trading, perfect entry is a waste of time because it never goes to plan. It's trading. Because I do wait for perfect in my mind, I do miss trades, which is frustrating. But when I'm in the zone, I would seem to have said, well, look, I'm really positive. Because we're still in a developing structure at the moment, I'm not sort of in the zone yet, but I might have caught that later in the day, just because I'm willing to risk, because if it goes down drawdown, I've got sort of these sort of areas, the fair value gap covered, the POC covered, overnight value high covered. I've got a lot of support level there, so if I take down a bit of drawdown, that's fine. If you know what I mean. But I like to just wait, especially the first hour, or especially the first 2 hours up to Tokyo. I like to have a little bit of a wait and see sort of attitude. Oh, what else happened overnight? Any news? What's happening in the Middle East? Oh yeah, from yesterday I had this question about how do I get my level? How do I get my... What the hell is the opening level here? This purple one here. No, it's not. Where is it? Was the previous day's open... Sorry, previous day's close. Here. Alright, this purple one up here at 29,390. I need my glasses. 23. Yeah, I had the question yesterday, where do I get this? And it is in... I looked at it yesterday after stream. Is that the main settings? No. It is in status line. Previous day close. Oh my god, I would have been in that and I would have been probably going, but it's here. Previous day close. So I just set that. And previous day close. I just set that and just, yeah, it's again just a level I watch, don't trade from, but I watch. And maybe if I need it, set a stop loss or a take profit app. Maybe if I just need, so I was in the middle of nowhere with my take profit. What am I doing? So I was in the middle of a take profit down here, maybe, and I was coming into here. Say that wasn't there, but I just needed a little bit extra, or just a little bit convincing. I would sort of put it here, or just under, just run it, or anyway, if that makes sense. Other than that, I just visually like just seeing where the previous day closed. It closed way up here, and we've moved into this zone. So we've got, what do we got? Okay, we've got the Australian Open or pre-Asian Open, whatever you want to call it, in 1 minute. So let's see how much. Yesterday there was some huge candles. I think Trump had a bit to do with yesterday's 7 o'clock trading. Something happened. I can't remember what it was. Something's always happening with the Middle East, unfortunately, at the moment. Just on social, what's it called? Truth Social. Truth Social's Trump's sort of where he releases all his media stuff. New ballroom. I don't think that's going to move the market. That was 16 minutes ago. Okay, so there's nothing too much there. What about with? And on FinViz, what do we got on FinViz? SpaceX stocks. Nvidia earnings are out. So I presume, because Nvidia is like top 10. Have I got them on here? In here. Yeah. All right. It is good to have a look on this. If you're trading NAS, what I do is I just load the top 10. Video's up 1%. What are you on about? Weren't they good results? Anyway, so the only one down is Costco. Costco's down 1.8%. That's showing strength to me. So I do like to have this in just check on this every now and then, just to see where, because this, basically, if we're green here, we're probably green here. Not always, but oil controls, especially at the moment with the Iranian, the Middle Eastern stuff. But yeah, Amazon's up 2%. Anyway, just something to watch for. Yeah, so we didn't get, what are we in? Are we in, yeah, so it's 7:02. So I'll wait for the orb, the 5-minute orb up here. And we'll see what's going to happen. If we're going to break to the downside or break to the upside and start targeting some of these higher levels. Oh, it's just going up. Normally what it likes to do in this sort of 7 o'clock range is sort of test up and down. But we've got a bit of strength here. That's a 3-minute candle. Oh, I need a drink. Sorry. Stick with the trades. Watch these for me, guys. I'm going to go and just quickly grab a drink. I'm back. What happened? Nothing. Okay, so we've created the orb, the 5-minute orb. Let's see what sort of reactions we get. For me, I'm not going to really do anything until we get down to these levels. This probably will be a target. But I think to break through here, to get up here, that's 100 points, 100 point range. I think we need a bit more liquidity to be gathered down here in the lows here. But we shall see. Could trade this. If I was going to do that, I would need to be under here. That's way too much. No, it's 100. Maybe. That's a tradable scenario. It's not quite 1-to-1, but to be honest, I'm okay with that. I'd rather take a little more risk than try and trade exactly the exactly here, because that's still developing, but I have got these ones of strength. Maybe something like that. And this is sort of why I like the orb, knowing where I am. It's not, look, I don't know. I don't even know anyone uses orbs for the Asian session. Everyone it's the big buzzword for using on, or the big buzz strategy for using in New York session. Probably does make more sense here, but I just like how it sort of gives some setups, because when you're above the 50% line in a orb, this is just my experience, you're showing strength. So when you're below it, you're in a bearish sort of section or part of the market. So my view is, if I'm taking a take profit or setting up stop losses or whatever, I keep all this in mind. So I don't actually trade the breakouts like a traditional traditional orb strategy would be. So when these lines break, that's when you take a trade. Because it's just so, I think it's just because it's so obvious now, so many retail investors, I'm out of water, so many people, so many retail investors or traders trade these sort of structures, it gets it just appears like it gets so manipulated. So it'll do it'll get you in. So all those ones that thought, oh well, we've broken, and then it'll come straight back down. So I got burnt a bit trading that way, so I don't even use it that way. But I like the structure of an orb, monitoring it. So I prefer in this scenario to be actually under the orb, with my take profit. But here's okay too, because we're within the newly formed developing value highs. We're below that 50% line. So I could take a bit of risk on. I just want to see what sort of candle, or how strong the candle stuff is here. If it's a big, strong candle down here, like totally engulfs it, goes straight through, I'll wait on that a little bit and probably look at the next level down here in this area. In this area here, I know there'll be some reaction that I can sort of monitor. But we shall see if it comes here. Who knows? We might come out of here pretty strong. You just got to ask yourself, if it comes out of here strong, why? There's nothing really to call it, because the market likes to find liquidity positions. Liquidity positions are these sort of areas down here, or off big areas of support like this. Up here, what is there? There's nothing really. The VWAP's down here. The VWAP can, but there's nothing really up here. So to me, this just feels like a play. Bit of a liquidity grabber. Kept saying that word wrong. But who knows? That's a pretty strong candle though. So we've got a newly, this is why I use as well, I use this advanced volume, and all that is doing, it's just a normal volume oscillator, but it shows if there's intent in the market, and when it's red or yellow, it usually indicates that there's some institutions in the market. So some institution trading going on in the market. And sort of when it's in the middle, maybe I read too much into this, but when it's in the middle of sort of nowhere, look, there's probably other retail investor indicators that are probably saying, oh yeah, this is why it's going up, because of blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. I miss all those. So to me, when I see that sort of not in my zones, it's just the market maker just pushing the market up, because that candle is a green candle. So it's pushing the candle up for a reverse. It's trying to get people saying, oh, the market's going up, but its real intent is to buy, to do the opposite, basically. That's my sinister mind thinking the whole world's out to get us poor retail investors. Let's see, can we come down to these levels? And do I take a risk here? Or do I wait for a better entry down here? We shall see. So we've broken back into the orb, a 5-minute Aussie orb. You know what? I've never even really looked at that. I'm going to look at that. What's Mr. AI going to tell me? Let's check with Gemini. Gemini. So Gemini's changed a bit. I haven't been using it as much. It's got a different... Sorry, I'm just on my phone. I know this is bad streaming. Oh, what happened there? Okay, so we got through. We reacted at the orb low level. So now we're under that 50%. So we're sort of in a an initial bearish mode. Gemini, can you tell me the 7 o'clock, so 7 p.m. New York time zone, what in trading terms does that represent in the market? Is it the Australian Open for trading reasons? That was a terrible if. Does not represent. No, it doesn't. It's saying it marks the official Tokyo session. No, it's not. 8 o'clock is. Evening session, 5 p.m. is when it wraps up. 6 p.m. is the equity and energy futures. 7 p.m. is Tokyo. Is that right? No. It's bloody... I've always played the 8 o'clock. I've always played the 8 o'clock as Tokyo. I'm not sure that's actually right. Hey, let me know in chat. What do you guys? I know there's been a change in time zone, hasn't there? You guys have got daylight savings now. I'm going to question you. Are you sure? Isn't 8 p.m. the traditional Tokyo session? Yeah. You are spot on to double check. Oh no, you are spot on to double check that, because 8 p.m. New York time is actually the traditional standard Tokyo Open. Does move. Really? Ah. Well, maybe I'm saying it wrong. I don't care. I'm going to stick to how I've always done it. So, well, what can I call that now? If it's not going to be the Australian. Okay, so when's it? When would So the 6 o'clock open of the day might be, when would the Australian when would the Australian traditional market time open then? Okay, the Global Forex Sydney session, it has to be Sydney, is pegged to 8 a.m. on 9 a.m. local. Yeah, so 7 p.m. What do you... Anyway, I'm calling it Australian Open. I don't care. So 7 p.m. you guys, New York, 7 p.m. your time is 7 a.m. where I am here. And that I'm calling the Australian Open. So officially, across the world, in Globex terms, that's what it is. Have you got a problem with it? Well, come and see me. You can buy me a beer, though, if you're coming all this way. All right, where are we? What are we doing? Okay, so we're just going to range around here, aren't we? For another 40 minutes until Tokyo opens. 8 p.m. New York, 8 a.m. here. What else is going on in the world? Did I finish doing that? So FinViz hasn't got much. A bit on... When was that? That's now. So it's just saying... FinViz is just saying that the market's just taking into account the NVIDIA earnings. I don't know. What was the NVIDIA earnings actually? Was it bad? S&P futures slips Wednesday. Let me have a look at friggin' NVIDIA. Closed. Okay, so I presume this is when it was announced. I don't really follow the share market too much. Is that a big drop? I guess it is. Mm-hmm. Okay, so estimate was 1.75. So all you experts out there, what's that? I can do this another time, guys. I'll get out of that screen. I don't know. I don't know. I'll have to look at that. I probably should be better at that. Oh. So we're down to our previous week, POC. And the developing POCs moved up accordingly. This is where the value at the moment in the last couple of hours is sort of sitting now. That's why that's moved up. So that's suggesting our long play is still what we should be looking at. Has tagged, pretty much tagged there. A bit hesitant, but that probably wasn't a bad spot to get in. Got a fair bit of drawdown still, value down here. Probably wasn't about. If I hadn't have won that first trade, I'd probably be looking at getting in there. Let's get out of that shit. Because our stop loss covers all of this area. What to do, what to do, what to do, what to do. Alright, it's a bit strong candle. It's tagged again. Let's see what the next candle does. That'll determine if I want to get in here. Sort of been a bit greedy and wanting for a better entry down here. Oh, okay. Here we go. I think I want to get in here. Oh, didn't want to do that then. Oh. Oh shit, I did two fucking, I was trying to cancel that. Alright. I'm going to get out of this one pretty early.
Order working.
That was a bit silly.
Order working.
Shit. Bummer, now I'm nowhere near my friggin'... Whoops. I was trying to cancel, so I clicked buy twice. Oh, AJ. You fucking idiot sausage. Alright, I'm gonna... If that can get back in, that'd be nice. I might take profit here if I can get in and get out. One more green candle. Oh, you bitch. Oh, I'm getting out of that, sorry.
Order cancelled.
What a bummer. Interesting to see where this goes. So we had that huge candle down. And I see how before I was talking about these levels are good for just deciding on, see if I had done my, can't remember where it was now. If I had done my correct trade, ideally I want to be out there, take profit there. So then I don't have to worry about getting back into the orb. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's sort of why that is the best opportunity to get out before the orb, because stuff happens here. Like there's reaction around those points rather than up here. That's sort of second level exit stage. But that trade sort of made sense to go for that 1-to-1. I needed to get up there, and then if I wanted to, I could have got out there just by looking at it. But that was a total disaster. Anyway, I'm up. What's that? Up 300 across my... What I'm trading at the moment, don't know if I explained that this time around. I'm trading 3 50k apex and 150 apex. So and I'm copy trading. All right, what are we doing now? All right, so we've hit our previous week POC already. And there's that. So if that had been a normal trade, that would have been a good time to get out. So it kind of respects these orb levels. How long have we got before Tokyo? The real Tokyo. Not Mr. Gemini's Tokyo. We've got half an hour, 30 minutes. Okay, plenty of time. Well, what do we end up making there? $50. $50 by 3 and 150 for the 150 account. Alright. I want to pass these evals next couple of days. So I'm going to be a bit more risky today. That first one was just a little taste. I think if we come here, I'll be doing 2 contracts. And I want this trade. On something like that. So I'll take profit up here, first profit, and let a runner go, and probably trail the stop up. Sort of makes sense. So over here, I'm just looking at the best level. Yeah, if it's going down there, it's going down there anyway. Maybe that's not a bad trade. So 76 to 100. So a 1.3 risk reward. But what I'll probably do is I'll take profit here, move my stop up to break even, and let it run. See how high up I can get. Yeah, so I'll wait for a better entry rather than take it up here again. The only consideration is that if it breaks this, it's sort of changing character a bit. That will be a change of character once it comes down here. So are we then in a bearish scenario? So whilst at the moment that's sort of what I'm looking at. I might even take a bit of risk off that. So if it breaks that, we could be bearish. So do I want to be in it? Don't know. Let's get it down there first. Might not even go down. This might have been the candle that... Was that a high volume candle? Yes, it was. So these are the big players. That candle. So if you're just looking at that, you wouldn't think. You would just think that's a normal candle. See it all the time. But this just indicates that there's big players playing around here. So the big players are playing around there for a reason. Are they setting up people to think, oh, the market's going down, when they turn around and do a candle like that? That's sort of what that's indicating, that they're selling off here to create this opportunity here, and this opportunity here goes against that. Yes, I think it was yesterday. I talked about Trader Reality. I don't mind him. I don't follow any YouTubers. I just don't really. This guy, Trader's Reality, him. He's not bad. He's on YouTube. I like his stuff, just purely on the manipulation, on how the market manipulates the market, and I like his outlook on how that. Hang on, I'll show you what I look at with his stuff. It's this stuff, and this is what these candles represent. If you have a look, hang on, let me get rid of some of this stuff so we don't need that. Don't need EMAs. Don't need that. Don't need that. just turn all this shit off. Hang on. I don't need any of that. Daily opens. Hang on, that should be enough. Is for the candles. And he has a really good way of out. See these candles? These are the similar candles that we're seeing down here. So it does my head in too colourful on chart. But he goes, if you have a look at his stuff, he's quite good at explaining. He's a pommy guy. He's quite good at explaining what these candles represents, and he's got a good spin on twist on the market how the market maker moves in the market. It's worth a watch, actually. But other than that, I don't really use this so much. I just like seeing this if I need to. So if you look at that candle there induces, and see how it's breaking out of the orb. So it's inducing trading around that candle. It's telling the market, hey guys, this is a big candle. Come and join me in the sell-off. And of course, us retail sheep, we follow that. So we'll go down. The ones who got in and got out here, great. That would have happened pretty quick. It's sort of inducing their next actual big play, which was force it down, buy the bottoms there, because the ultimate move was to get back up. And these follow-up candles, I just think, are to try it again. It's just manipulating the market. Anyway, I don't know if that's anything to do with what's actually happening. I just have that in my head, and it sort of keeps me out of trouble sometimes, knowing that there's manipulation here. So just don't presume it's going to do what it's going to do, because the market makers, if they're in control, which they always are, they're doing something for another reason. And another little thing here, see how there's a gap between candles? That's coming down pretty soon, because whenever you see these little gaps like that, the market in the next one or two candles will come down and grab that. So without doubt. On NAS, especially on NAS, like on NQ. If you have a look at the MNQ charts, that's why I don't really look at the MNQ charts. You might not even see that difference. In hindsight, that was a pretty good entry to get into, because of this reason, that the market makers in there, they're not going to just sell for it. They're not after a 12.5 point move. They're after the bigger move. So getting in there was wrong, obviously. But where did I get in? I can't remember the trade. Trading. $29, 183. Oh wow! So I got him way up here. Well, that was lucky. I was lucky to get out of that alive, really. So I got in here. That's a bit of a blur. I can't even remember what happened there. There's a fine line between, like, I know my target, so why, you're probably saying, why would you not just set a buy limit here? If you were convinced to do that, and yeah, I know, I ask myself that all the time myself. If I can work that out, I'll be a much better trader. Because I tend to wait to see the reaction. Like that was in that candle. Remember, that's all red at one point. That's all red from here down. So you're not going to enter a market. You're not going to want to see entering the market like that, are you? Because that's my stop loss. I did have a bit of a buffer, but that freaks the fuck out of me. Sorry, I swear too much. That freaks the hell out of me. But I'd be in, and I would have been in my trades that I actually wanted to be in. So there's a fine line. I don't know. I haven't worked that out yet. I think why I hesitate is just because they're stacked. If there was nothing there, then that's a different story. I would be looking for that and getting in reasonably quickly here. So buy limit maybe. But that's why I wanted that trade, because I would have had the buffer room. So it probably wasn't. It probably was a smarter move to stick to that original plan. Have my entry here. Actually, I think I had it just above, didn't I? I had it. These have all changed now, but I think this was a bit stronger. I think there's a bit up here. So I was going to trade from there up, obviously, for a long, and have my stop loss. Have my stop loss down here. And I think I had it into this, didn't I? Yeah, because I was going for 100 points. But that was when I was also targeting here. So I would have got there. Would have been nervous on this point, but after that it would have been okay. And again, I was trying to get 2 in, so the plan would have been to get out here. I would have got out here, take profit 1, and let this run. And on this sort of action, I probably would have been out anyway. I probably would have trailed up here, so I wouldn't have got up here anyway. I would have got out in this mess. So I would have taken profit here. So that candle would have killed me anyway. That's all right, because I would have probably would have taken profit here, gone to break even, and I might have even been stopped out here. I probably would have been stopped out. Take profit, probably when I did. Anyway, just trying to explain my ideas. I want to get down here. Yeah, I like that. Maybe under. Take profit there. And I'll do the same thing. Move to break even. Now we're going to try and get above the orb again. What's the time? 10 minutes to Tokyo. Anything from Mr. Trump? Because there's some pretty big volume going in there. Before Tokyo. No. Just about the ballroom. Apparently you need a new ballroom at the White House. Okay. Okay, so reacted at the orb high. Now I did get a question about my indicator. This indicator's got a few bugs. It's not really set up timed very well globally. So I'm not releasing it at the moment. It's got some bugs. It's something I built, so it's got some bugs in it that I would probably want to try and look as if I get some traction in this in my streams, maybe I will at some point. But there's heaps of these orb indicators out there. I think Lux Algo's got one. Lux Algo seems to have something for everyone, so that probably has got one. And look, there'll be heaps of them out there. But all it is just drawing. You don't even need to. All you need to do is just draw. So you wait for the first 5 minutes. Like I'm on the 1 minute chart. You could even go to the 5 minute chart and just wait for that 5 minute candle. Draw a high, draw a low, or do a box. Actually, a box is probably better. Do a box around that 5 minute, those 5 minute candles, and draw a middle line. Something like that. Yeah. If I turn mine off. So something like that. With a did I do the middle line yet? And there you go. That looks stupid. And then, so what I was saying before, when you're within this, when you're within the orb, so if you get a big enough orb, if you get a big enough orb, what am I trying to do here? I think it was 20 points, wasn't it? 20 points. So say you got a 50, because sometimes you get some decent candles. Like on London, you get a bit more range. You can even, I don't advise it, but you can even, if you're rangy, if you're chopping away in this sort of area, in this zone, you can even sort of trade from the extremity lines. So from here, you trade long. From here, you trade short, whilst it's in a chop sort of market, if that makes sense, and take profit here. I don't do that, but I know some people do. So this has got, yeah, I don't know where the market's going. No idea. We're still below the 200 EMA, SMA, whatever, and the 50, and just squeezed in with the VWAP. So, like always, Tokyo 8 o'clock session will tell us where the market sort of wants to go initially. So, no use trying to predict. The market will go where Mr. Market Maker or Mrs. Market Maker wants it to go. 5 minutes to go. Let's see what happens. I think I still like my reaction point. This is probably where I'll be trading from rather than here. This time around we've got our sort of move there. That's been done, so I want to test. I want to see what it does when we test these markets. Not markets, but these points of interest. How's our session looking? Now I didn't get a chance today, but I've built myself a little AI tool off screen that you won't see. Actually, I'm not set up for it though. Let me try and set that up. That just gives me a bit of a roadmap. Basically, I chuck in the charts, and I bought data. I bought data for, was it 12 months or 2 years? Can't remember now. And let AI do its thing just on Nasdaq and gold. I did it on gold as well, but I haven't looked at gold. I haven't been trading gold as much. And basically what it did, I put in what I wanted to get out of it, which I can't remember the exact criteria I put into it, but I wanted to get out of, I fed it through AI, got a CSV file loaded, I think it might have been 18 months worth of data actually, NAS data, and I had some certain outcomes I wanted to get a result on and build a little, it's not a bot, but it's a what do you call it? A GPT. It's through ChatGPT, which analyzes that data with the criteria I put in it and let it run with what did you find out of it. So I got some stuff from that and built a little tool around the advice from that, and I set up what's called a GPT, which is just like a little app within GPT itself that I load the charts in every morning. It uses that data, find what we found, and it uses basically my strategy here, what I'm looking at here, to read the market and just do a roadmap for the Asian session. And then I've got it set so it'll do a similar one for the London session. But I forgot, I didn't have time to run it today. So I don't solely use it or anything. Bloody hell. But I'm locked out of it. I'm sort of between two computers at the moment, so I'm in my normal environment on my main laptop, and but I can't go off screen on it. I've got to go off screen onto the other laptop. I'm not set up with my my other environment, but I can if you can bear with. Nothing's happening in the market at the moment, so I might try and do it now. Manage accounts, add new profile. Do I add new profile on your account? What do I do here? Sorry, this is bad streaming here, but it's pretty quiet and nothing's happening in the market, so bad luck. I'm going to do it. What one's that? So that's my... Sorry guys, bear with me and I'll see what AI has to tell us. Bloody passwords. They do my head in. What are we doing? So we want... far out. I can't remember my password. I'll have to come back to that. I'll do that for next stream. I'll have my chat GPT so I can read what AI is telling me. It's handy, but I don't know. I've built it so it gives me positions to look for A+ trades, B+ trades, etc. But it's the same stuff I'm basically finding here. The only good thing is it does, well, one good thing, it does actually give me indication from my data that my 2 years of data or 18 months of data. It gives me reads on what to look for in the Asian session and the London session. I didn't really do it for the New York session, just Asia and London sessions. And there is some little things to look out for. Like one of the things was Asia often tries to take the highs and then the lows within the same session. Not always, but it does often try and sweep the lows, try and sweep the highs in the same session, and then set up for London. And London's got its own little intricacies, whatever that friggin' word is. Okay. Look at that shitty trade. Oh well, could have been worse, couldn't it? Oh no, that was my first one. That was okay. This one. So I got in there and took profit. Oh jeez. Anyway, that could have gone bad pretty easily, so can't complain. Yeah, so what I was doing, basically, I was looking for that. I was trying to get in here. I was waiting for a retest back, but of course it was going up, and I hit buy, and then because I did it in panic mode, I hit buy again, so it actually created a buy and a buy. So I put 2 contracts on. In panic mode, and then I got out as soon as, because my original goal was to get out here, so I had that in my head, so was just to get in before the lower orb level here. Well, that was where my take profit 1 was going to be, and then I was hoping to run it up here, but luckily both scenarios would have worked for me. Yeah, so are we in? Yeah, we are. Okay, so we nearly got it. So if this is similar to what if my orb for Australia is similar to what the orb is going to be for Tokyo. We'll candle in. I'll just get rid of this. Yeah, okay, good. So I'll get rid of it still actually carries some weight, because if we're stuck in a bit of a chop fest in here, see how it sort of Can be useful, but it's just too messy, so I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. Actually, I will do the China one later, if I'm still trading then. I'll monitor that. So I've removed the Australian one because it's sort of encompassed in there, and Tokyo's much stronger range anyway. And that is 32 points. So from here to here, 32 points. So again, all you do is you just draw your lines. Top of the range, bottom of the range, and or do the box. Actually, I should say the box. The box is better. So do your box. You got your 5-minute range. Build that, and there you go. And that gives you your halfway points. So you don't need any indicators. If you're a person who doesn't like indicators, I respect that. If you can just go off price action, candles, great. But just do yourself a favour and just watch for those levels, because it does play a part in the setups. So look at the strength candles in here. So we've got some before. Look at that. So it's already manipulating, trying to manipulate the market. First 2 minutes. Couple have had their coffee earlier and they got in early. And once these candles start dying down, we'll see the retailers sort of where the retail money's going, which is usually what the bigger market makers trying to say, hey, we think the market's going down here, put your money there, or sell off here. That sort of stuff gets the story gets built. Share your feedback on all that, because look, I'm coming into this a bit behind probably a lot of traders. I trade the usually trade, and I still trade with some live. I've got live accounts in crypto. So I'm just trying to build up my futures. Well, trying to build up my futures trading on the NAS using prop firm money. So I might start looking at, because look, I think I've said it a couple of times, but I'm not really in this to make money. I'm more just trying to force myself into better disciplined decisions. Whereas I was losing accounts left, right and centre because I was trading too much. So when I started just taking a step back, I started passing accounts. So I've got 5 Apex ones. I've passed and taken money on Lucid and Take Profit. But unfortunately, Lucid and Take Profit for me, I can't do here. I was doing those in Australia last year, or late last year, which was going pretty well, but I wanted to get back into, I wanted to come back to Philippines, Southeast Asia, get away from Australia for a while, and trade over here. And the only ones, but there's a couple I haven't got around to testing it, but there's a couple. But Apex, for me, is sort of the best one for me at the moment. I think there's another couple I can use. They all sound the same to me. They're all, is it Traderify? Might be Traderify, and there was another another one as well. I'll look into. So anyway, where I was going with that is I want to not so much in it to make money off you guys, because that's, as I've seen, there's not many. I'm not getting much traction with the account at the moment, which is fine. I don't care, but it's forcing me to think a bit clearer and take better trades. Well, that's the idea of it anyway. But what comes from that is if I do get some audience participation and level, I'll go get some codes for the prop firms, and hopefully I'll have some discounts for you with that. Plus also I'm hoping to get some free accounts. The ultimate aim to get some free accounts and give away to you guys. I don't know how all that works. I don't want any free accounts. I'm doing okay. I'd rather pass all that on to you guys. So we shall see if we can build a little Pacific Edge community here. So any questions, chuck them through. I'm not going to talk crypto. That's a different. I might introduce crypto. I want to just stay on NAS and prop firms. That's sort of what I want to build. But I want to look into prop firms for crypto. Maybe I'll introduce that. Because the volume profiles I sort of use, I do it a bit different though on crypto. Because crypto is 24 hours, so it's not so much session based like what NAS is. But there's some stuff I can certainly build on. But anyway, that's time and place for another chat. But I might bring. But what I was going to say was, I think it's Warbucks. I think it's that Patrick Whelan, PW. Oh my God, that guy's got energy. That guy's got energy. He cracks me up. Like, I know there'll probably be a bit of hate on him, but I actually quite enjoy his content. I don't watch it much, but I quite enjoy his content. But he's got. I think I don't know if it's his or he's affiliated with. I think it's Warbucks. I know they do crypto, so I might look into crypto firms and at some point and bring that into the stream. That'd be interesting to see how that all works actually. Alright, so what are we doing? What's the time? 8:13. I don't know if we're coming back down here, my friends. So here, these are opportunities using just the orb. Set your stop loss. Like if I'm in my over trading sort of mindset, which I'm glad I'm not at the moment, you could set this up. Is that 50? Close enough. So have your, whoops, wrong one. Have your stop loss below, probably there. Let's have a look what nodes we got. Yeah, so just have it just lower than that one, lower than the POC, and actually don't even need it there. You can probably lower that if you can get to there, maybe. Yeah, that's not a bad trade. And then just get out before here. Because it can sometimes sit in this, just chop around in this orb. level. Now, warning though, if it's doing this, like it's hit here 3 times, I usually have a rule with my chops. Magic, I don't know if it's magic or not. Oh, here you go, it's entered. That's broken the orb anyway. I've only 3 times hitting sort of a chop level. So if I'm thinking that way, I'm going to set up and do some trades from using the POC as my stop loss and trading the orb. I'm not really trading the orb. It is, but it's not. I'm sort of really trading this, if that makes sense. So wait for it to hit here. It'll do its candle here. So wait for it to do whatever. It might just tag, might just come out and just do a wick out. I'll look at an entry sort of somewhere like that. All right, just targeting, not just targeting just to the mid range of the orb, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're briefly out of the orb, but we're retesting back in. To make a bit more sense of that, so wait for the 5 minute to do what it has to do, and then start counting these touches. So wick out, that'd be a good opportunity if you were considering it, of entering a trade. That one as well. That one less so likely, but possible. And this one coming down, I probably wouldn't. I would wait to see what happens here. So it'd be impossible for me to do a strategy like based on that, because there's a lot of ifs and else's. For anyone who's a coder, they'll sort of know what I mean there. Yeah, so I'd be willing to stay out of that next test on here, because it's tested it. Well, it's tested it right through. At some point, it's going to break that. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could test that again for sure, because the ultimate move is it could test that right down here, go right down again, break the lower low, set up a new lower low, but still go and take off, aiming for up here. It's a long way off though. That's a fair, I don't know, too hard to know where the market's going on this one. It might do nothing today. Might build whatever it's building here for the, what was that? Have I got that? This one. Has anyone got this one? It's actually quite useful. It's called the news feed for 2 degrees. Hang on, what's that? FOMC. Was it 2 o'clock? Wasn't 2 o'clock. Hang on, let me check on that. Has anyone got access to the calendar? Have I got it still? Okay, for the calendar events, I just go to what's it called? The Forex Factory. Forex Factory, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. your time. Is that right? Sorry, no, that's 2 a.m. my time. Oh yeah, well that's right. 2 a.m. So that's 2. Hang on. I'm getting I get so confused with time zones. Thursday, May 21, 2 a.m. No, so that's 2 a.m. my time. Hang on. Am I logged in? I'm logged in. Okay, that's why. So I'm logged in and I'm set on Singapore, South Asia time. Far out. Where was it? Yeah, 2 a.m. Okay. So 2 a.m. my time is 2 p.m. your time. So that's wrong. I'm going to get rid of that one. That is called the... What's that one called? High impact news, that one. Get rid of that. The only thing with this one is I wish it gave a vertical point. So what I did is I created my own overlay. I created my own, so it's the FOMC meeting. And it is for... What day is it? 21st. And have I set that up? I've set that up on to... Yeah. Where is that? Thursday. No, we're not there yet. This is great, entertaining session, isn't it? It's all right. Anyway, it's supposed to... whatever. I don't know. I'll have to do this off stream. Anyway. Now it's 2. What the hell? Maybe did they change it? Maybe. That's why it needed an update. USD. Show labels. So what time are we? The original time data is based on New York, so I want it on New York. Okay, yeah, so 2 p.m. 2 p.m. today, your time, or 2 a.m. my time. Is that right? 2 a.m. my time. So that's... whatever. I'll look into that. I'll come back to you on that. But yeah, that's handy, that little thing. But it's annoying, so Gotta hide it. But it'd be good if that actually laid an overlay line, vertical line, but it doesn't as far as I can see. So what I did is I built my own little label that I have to enter it in manually, but I plot my points in here, and it gives like a 30-minute warning, so it'll come in yellow. I think I can't remember what it looks like, which is handy, but I only trade the US news stuff, so because most of that's in New York session, I don't really use it that much. It's just handy to have. Handy to have out there. Hang on, what's that one called? That. And that I'll look into. And we're back to here. So what are we doing? So we're still in the orb for now. So if people don't really want to use that, that's fine. It's much cleaner without. And not distracting. So we're trying to go down to our previous week POC again. Sorry, I do need it. Trying to go down to our previous week POC again. So see what I was saying with that? If you're sitting here with your stop losses below here, and making trades here, like you're entering here for a long back in, how many times did that hit? Don't worry about the 5 minute, ignore that. But it's done it once here, twice, 3 times, 4 times, gone up to this level where you can take a profit. 5 times. Well, that didn't get. Well, that one got there, sort of. So, if I want entries and I'm struggling to get it down to targets where I want, I'll look at some of this sort of stuff. Not so much on my funded accounts, but on the evals. I'll take a bit of risk. So if that gets up here, and see how it doesn't hit it exactly. Don't ever use these points, even down here. Don't ever use these as your trigger point to set your take profit. Don't, just always forerun them a bit. You're better off using this sort of stuff to take, so that one there, maybe see this little point here, as close as you can to sort of up here, those sort of nodes. Anyway, just passing on my experience. Good, bad, indifferent. How long have we been streaming for? I'm sure everyone's sick of my nasally voice. All right, come on. What are we doing here? Can't save those stupid friggin' markers there. Take them off for now. So probably even just under there, it's not a bad little entry. I won't do these trades. Just putting it out there. So even just under, so and look at that. See how it's gone up, tested that mid-range level again. Yeah, so I don't know if I'm clear on how I'm doing my setups and all that, but it has been working for me. So trade the historical, like these are my ultimate points. Trade the historical high time frame places of interest, points of interest, and use whatever I can to set stop losses and take profits. So again, that would have been a good trade, straight up there. What I never do is I never trade from the midpoints. I can't remember his name, but there's a trader, a YouTube trader. He's not bad actually, but I don't really get that much from him. But he's good with his, because I do use price action, but I don't really use candle. Like I don't trade off candles. Whereas I can't think of his name, but he's I think it's a husband-wife. The wife is Russian or Ukrainian or something like that. And I think they've got a joint channel, but he's got some good little tips and tools, and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, his famous saying is "Don't diddle in the middle," and it's perfect for what I'm trying to get at here. I never trade off here. I use it as a stop loss or a exit point for take profit. So you don't diddle in the middle, as he says, which is exactly what I'm trying to get at. So you trade from the extremities, if you're going to trade from those sort of points, like from the value high, from the value low. And you use, even for this, you use the POC as your sort of guide. That's where all the value's sitting. That's the magnet for the target back in or take it back up. And it's similarly for the orb. So it's sort of got a bit of synergy in that respect. But that would have been another winning trade. And I should be, like, I'm only trading evals, so I should be probably a bit more aggressive. I'd be very hesitant now. Just because it's tested it so much. So I lose confidence as we go on. So it's just a matter of wait and see. Is there any point me being on screen anymore? I've seen I lost a bit of viewership. Really want to see what China does. Yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? China had, there was a lot of volatility in that 9 a.m., 9 p.m. session on the hour. I just want to see come back down here. I'm just starting to wonder if it's got enough strength to get up here. because we've built a we've built a bit of a P pattern here, which sort of is a bullish session pattern, but it's only 2 hours in, so oops. So maybe we've maybe we're in for some fun down in these ranges. So whilst at the moment I've got my entry sort of looking there. And we're still sitting under the orb levels. We haven't broken out. We haven't broken out at all. Yeah, have we got enough strength to get up here? Maybe we need to come down here. So all Tokyo's doing is basically just built some strength up here and just chopping around here. So in hindsight, the play would have been just play these levels. Play our previous weekly POC. So stop loss here. And these levels, yeah, that's the Lux. This is using some ICT concepts, which I don't really follow ICT too much. I have it on, but I sort of trade a bit differently. But again, it's just telling you. Again, it's just reinforcing that. Don't diddle in the middle, sort of. Don't trade in those areas. Certainly take profits or stop losses, set them up through here, but don't. It's not an area to trade off. So if you guys can put up with me, because I want to do one more trade. I really, 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 truly do. One more trade. What'd I make? 300 times 3, 900 plus 900, 1800. But it's evals, so that doesn't count. AJ. Oh, no, so I would have done, sorry, I lie. I would have done, because I've only got 2 trades on the 150 account. So on my 50k accounts, I made 300 on each of those, so 3 by 3. And on the 150k account, I made 600. Yeah, okay. Still alright. So the idea of that is, I normally trade 5 50k accounts, copy trade 5 50k accounts. That's my normally what I do. Evals, and even in when I've got my funded accounts. But what I've started doing is rather than buying especially with Apex, because they're pretty cheap buy-ins. You've got to pay an activation fee, which is fine. I'm happy to do that because that means I'm funded, so that's fine. But they're cheap to get in. So rather than buy 5 50Ks, I buy 3 50Ks and one 150K. So I'm effectively buying 6 accounts for roughly the same sort of money. And then the idea of that is to hopefully build up 150K accounts. So I'll have those, and I'll have my stacks of 5 to copy trade 550K accounts, if that sort of makes sense. I think it does. Does it? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. So where are we? Where are we? So we broke orb, straight back down. And back into. So when I start thinking strength is when we touch and we start breaking high highs here. So the first high before I think we've got any strength is our high here. Well, no, it's a lower high here from these candles, but as soon as it breaks these levels here, then I'm thinking, okay, now we're starting to look stronger. What's my levels now? Well, my next level is way up here. So has the market got enough strength to get up there? To be honest, I don't see it. Could. There's no extravagant candles coming in, so unless there's more news to come. So, interesting, the 6 o'clock, which I still think is the Australian, it's obviously the open, so there's still a bit of liquidity in the US market that are still trading after the close. These candles are much stronger than, look at these, where are we? Than these Tokyo ones. So that's indicating to me why there's going to be a bit of chop here, because there wasn't really much direction forced upon us. So I feel in my bones that we're going to sort of chop around here. So unless the 9 o'clock and the 10 o'clock, there's always action around the hours on our candles. So whilst it's not around at the moment, much liquidity, it could come at any point. And maybe they're building, that's going to be one of those days, a pretty low market day, which I actually prefer. Well, do I prefer? I prefer in the scenario that I can trade these sort of things with more confidence. See, that was brand new when I was starting to think, these are good levels. But the indication being not much. What is that not showing? There's not much volume in the market of these sort of candles. Like comparing, like that's obviously US stuff, a lot of volume. But these candles are negligible. They're just little blips. This is the that's the Tokyo Open there. Whoa, look at that. Whoa. That's volume, baby. See that candle? See that candle? That's at that 3:59 time. You know how when Someone asked me the other day, why don't you just trade, why don't you just set the session to, so for the overnight, why don't you set the session, I've got it 9:30 a.m., which is 21:30 here, 12 hours, to 4 p.m. Why don't I set it to the 5 p.m.? That's why. I don't want any of this shit in, because that's manipulation. Come on. One candle before the end of the hour. So I turn that data off from my profile. So I'll go to the 359 level, the 359 time, and stop that session. So I don't want that last hour, because weird stuff happens in there. So I don't want that in my profile. Whether it makes much difference, I don't know. Actually, I think I copied that from someone, which sort of made sense. Was that Trader Dale? Might have been Trader Dale. I think I copied it from Trader Dale. He's got some okay stuff. If you want more information, I should probably, like I was saying the other day, if I want to get stronger at reading some of these, I probably should do some more volume profile. Not so much courses, but just research on better. I've been just doing it from what I already know. Yeah, that's a long way up in that. So we're just waiting at the moment. Has it got the strength? See how it keeps retesting the orb top though? So when it starts going inside, we're certainly not bullish at the moment. We're just in a chop fest. Vice versa, if this level, say this was the level, right? We weren't seeing any strength, and we could do some shorts from this level. So, for example, how much is that? 50-ish. Okay. But do you see what I mean? So say our level was here. Say our POC was up here, like a historical POC, not this one, or not these levels. We're still building this, but our historical higher time frame points of interest. Say that was here. It was doing this sort of action, wasn't going to. I'd be inclined to maybe even consider a short from there if I know the market is choppy. Like if it's coming out of here with strength and we're at the start of the session or the hour or whatever, I wouldn't. But if I knew I was in this sort of choppy market now, like here, or say it was this level, which is getting to, I would consider using that. Alright, have your stop loss up here. I'd rather the stop loss be behind one of these entries, like a POC level or whatever, a historical level, because you know, the reason being for that is just the setup. Not so much on this, because they're historical, these ones, is the setup. So it's got to get through there's a lot of volume that was in that market, the previous day market. So it's more not so much guaranteed that it's not going to go there. Definitely not. But it's just got a bit extra. You got a bit more support behind your decision of setting up your zones, setting up your stop loss zones. If you know what I mean. But later, actually, that's one thing I could do, because it's Wednesday midweek now, so I can set up the previous week. Sorry, the current week levels. I only do that from a Wednesday. So let me do that. So we want from Monday the... Jeez, are we nearly over May? Far out, so next week... Hang on, is that right? Next week we're in June. That's crazy. So Monday. So it's this one, I presume. Alright, so Monday, 6 a.m. I want... So that's the start, that's the open of the week. I want to test the points of interest for this current week. I don't worry about it at the start of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hang on, what's today? Yeah, so it's Thursday my time, Wednesday your time. I'll draw these levels in now. So what I want is I can turn that one. I'm not using this one anymore. I turn this one. Problem is it's hard to find. I use this one. Look for the look for this level here, right? Oh, of course. And I draw that as far as I can, because it doesn't matter. And I change that to my templated current week. I'll turn orange, and what that's doing is extending right. So it doesn't matter where you draw that from to wherever, because it'll extend these points right through to the end of the week when I don't want them anymore. So my POC is where is the POC? Here, the red line here. So if I go through, these new levels that I've plotted are the previous week. Sorry, the current week's highs and lows. So we're looking for the orange. I'm not going to label them because I don't treat them as strong as these levels, but I do look at them. So the high is up here, the current week. So we're sitting on that now, and it looks like we've just broken. Now look at that. That's why it's playing around this area. Look at that. That's why it was sort of testing these areas. Previous week profile. So that's the value high. The POC is, I think I've got that red, and obviously the lower one down there. That's interesting. I wouldn't have done it, but it would have been interesting chat point if I had have seen that earlier. Makes sense, guys? So if that was something I was really interested in, like the later in the week the better. Like we are at Thursday, so I wouldn't have done it, but anyway, that would have been that point where we could have set up that short. Or long, as it happens. But we were talking about the chop zones. So that could have been somewhere. But again, inverted the other way, that could have been that next level. If it's chopping and above, and see now, the story is that we've strongly broke the orb. So we strongly broke the 5-minute orb of Tokyo. We're now above the previous or this current week's value high, the session value high. Looking at a target like that, was that there? The value gap. That could be a point where if you were thinking you were going to go higher, that could have been a level you could trade. I probably wouldn't have, but I think I'm still bias stuck, which I shouldn't be because I keep telling myself don't be bias stuck. I've still got this in my head, the lower levels, like sweeping these ranges. But now that I'm seeing that there's so much chop in the market, it may not get to the, well, I think it'll some point, maybe it'll be London, it'll get to this point or this point. But just the Asia session, it might not have it. That hasn't got much volume in the market, so I'm less confident on that. So we got 2 trades in. One perfect trade. The second one was just an arse and lucky get out of jail trade, but I'm still counting it. Bad luck. I'm still counting it. Because the idea was right, I just friggin' fumbled. And I'm not even going to speak about it. So anyone who's just catching the stream late, bad luck. If you want to watch an idiot trying to trade, go have a look at the. When was that? Go and have a look at about the 7:30. Was that when it was? Yeah, that was okay trade. That one. So go look at the 7:30 mark of that of this video, the replay. Quite funny. If I'd have seen someone doing it, I probably would have laughed. So no problems with anyone laughing their guts out at it. I won't go into the specifics of it other than the fact that what I basically did was panicked, got in a little late, so I hit my buy, which I wanted to be a buy, but I hit it way too late. And then I was trying to, I don't know what I was trying to do, I was trying to cancel out of it, I was trying to hit exit, because I got in way too late, and I hit buy twice. So I entered twice and then got out. Just got out when I just hit profit, so made $50 on it. Anyway, funny. All right, how long have we got? How long do you have to put up with me for? Okay, so we're coming up 2 minutes ago till the 9 o'clock hour, which I'm calling the China Open. Call it whatever you want. And you know what? It's probably got some, because of the changeovers in time zones, which confuses the hell out of me. I don't know if Japan is changing zone or you guys in America. Whatever it is. But I think 9 o'clock, the 9 o'clock session is probably like your 9 o'clock right now in 2 minutes is probably traditionally where some people the houses still trade from using that hour. So that's why it's that first 3 hours, the 7 o'clock, the 8 o'clock, the 9 o'clock are good times to trade. That's where the most volume will be. If there's going to be volume in the Globex session, that's then. I need another drink. So how long have we got? Okay, I've got enough time. I might take a trip to the Dunny. Any Aussies out there will know what that is. Let me just see this candle. That's a 9 o'clock candle. Nothing spectacular. Alright, I'll be back anyway. How we looking? Oh shit. Not much action, is there? Oh, here we go. Spoke too soon. So that's 20 points at the moment. Which one was? Yeah. So again, I've got an orb level that I'm creating for the China session. Not session, but hour. A 5-minute orb for China, I think. China 2100, 9, that's 9, isn't it? Yep. Let's see what we produce. And let's have a look at the candles. So there's not much volume, is there? Why do I whistle? I can't whistle. These would have been nice entries though. Like this one. Getting along down here. What candle are we on? Oh shit, no wonder. I'm in the 5-minute. On the 5-minute looks so obvious. No, I won't do that. I was going to change that to what do you call them? Heikenashis. But I think that throws my orb indicator out. Bit of a slow session, guys. Sorry. Mr. Market Maker is not doing much today. I'm sure he's making his millions and squeals. May as well get rid of this shit. Dang, it's coming down here for a while. Yeah. Always looks a long way on the 1 minute, doesn't it? But seems like that's the area it wants to go. Alright, so the China 5-minute is formed. And basically the same thing. Isn't that funny? Look, how the previous week, the current week session value high is right on that range. that sort of gives me a lot more confidence to trade from there, to be honest. In fact, I think I will take a bit of a stab at it. So I'll trade a long and get my, that's too far down. I'm okay with that. So set stop loss just below that. These, I prefer below that, but that's probably, so I'd actually prefer to maybe be in here. Not bad. Problem is, I'd prefer to be out there if it's going to play around in this area. Okay, I think I will trade this, but I want to see this high taken out if I can. Yeah, that's good. Alright, so now I know we're still bullish. So if that was only getting up to here and reacting, I don't want to be in it, but I don't mind. Maybe I've got to reassess though. Now I know this is actually a zone that is being respected. And we've got that candle there. I might consider something like this. So pull back to here. But AJ, you said don't diddle in the middle. Yes. Yes, you're right. I did say that. But I'm okay at breaking rules every now and then. If I've got these points of interest that sort of stack up. If my story is right, this was my main thing. I wanted to see strength, knowing that there's a bit of, knowing there's strength here in the market, plus this, I think, seems so far off, but still think this is the play. I'm happy to sort of be still in a long, in a bullish sort of mode at this point. So if we come down here to where we broke structure here, above the, still above here, maybe that's the better level actually. That's probably the better entry. So just above the session. Maybe that actually. So I use our current week's session value high. Set my stop loss under the top of the Tokyo session. The Tokyo 5-minute orb. I'm okay with that. If Mr. Market Maker still wants to go up here, then we're still bullish. So as you can see, it's all guesswork. Yeah, I might have a swing at that. If it comes down, it might not even come down here. Like the true strength would be it just coming down to the top of the orb and shooting up still, really. We shall see. What was all-time highs? Wow. Not that far off though, is it? Wonder if Nvidia had stronger results, maybe it would have tested all-time highs. Because we're basically at all-time highs. Okay, so we've got a bit of a retrace here. Are we going to come back into here? Or are we just going to build a bit of volume here, create a bull flag and just off to the races again? See that's which candle's that one? So that candle there there's a bit of institutional buying going on there. So they want to push it up. Still all-time, high highs here. Suddenly, previous day POC's not looking far off, is it? Wow. I don't think it's coming down here. Can't even get into this. I'm not trading from those levels. That would be the last one I'd consider. Stop loss in mind, keep that. I wonder if I had drawn that this morning, I would have been more inclined to enter here. It would have been that candle that would have convinced me. Who knows? Anyway. So, this is where we switch. I want to see what it does here now. So here, initially, I'll be looking for a short. And I only want to, because there could be a heap of, but again, I want to watch the strength level of how we enter that. That's sort of what my next look will be. Initial bounce off that, it might go higher, but I think it needs to come down first. And for this, I'm going to set up I'm going to set up a sell order. Initially, I'll do one contract. Initially, I'll be looking at one contract, 310. I will be looking at a sell off that point.
Order working.
Yeah, because there might be a wick. I think I need a bit of room there.
Order working.
Okay. Now, depending on the action here, what's happening here, if it's coming up and coming down and going up, and anyway, I'll play by ear. Let's see what it does. Because I would really like to have two contracts on here. And to be honest, why am I being a chicken shit? I should just do another contract.
Order working.
These are evals. I don't care.
Order working.
And so what I'll do here, I hope this plays out actually, because I wouldn't mind actually showing how I trade. I will what I'll do is I'll have two entries, two contracts. As soon as I hit probably here or just before, how far is that? Yeah, so that's 50 ticks. So as soon as that'll be my first take profit, just somewhere here. I'll leave one contract going for a run. That's my ultimate goal. I'll judge what's going on there. And what I'll do is I'll kill one, move my stop loss down to here, break even, or just under, pay for fees, etc. And then depending on how we're going here, I'll either take profit to this sort of area, or I'll try and let it run. We shall see what happens. How much drawdown have I got on this account? Accounts. Oh no, should be right. Should be right. So how's everyone's morning going, or night going? So far, we did sort of okay. I know you guys can't see that because I've got it off screen. But we did 300. So 300 on 3 50k accounts and 600 on a 150k account. It's on copy trading 4 accounts. I need to rename that. Yeah, so far, a couple of okay entries, or one good entry, one textbook entry. The other one was a bit of a schmozzle, but we got out of it safely. 50k profit, 50k. I wish, 50 buck profit. But that one could have gone south pretty quick. That does highlight, because I panicked. Anyone who saw that, there was a bit of a panic. So you've got to have your plan set. Before you enter, you've got to have that plan. You've got to have your plan in place. You know, I panicked and I fucked up because I bloody entered 2 trades and set up in the wrong, got the wrong entry anyway. The idea was right because I actually made the profit in the end anyway. But it just shows you gotta have not so much a strategy. Well, you have to have a strategy, but you have to have a plan. So you stick to that plan. If the plan changes, that's fine. If you haven't got enough time to reassess everything, just stay out of the trade. Just wait for the next trade. You don't have to get every trade. Very slow day. But if this... okay, so let me do some... I haven't got chat. I haven't got my little indicator set up. But that should be 600... yeah, about 600 bucks. With opportunity for more if there's a good runner. We shall see. And the strength this goes up will indicate if there's how much of a shot at a runner I've got. If I dawdle up like this sort of action up, I might just take one off the table. So just this will be my area. That'll be my area at take profit. 1. I might take both off. 296. If it ever gets there. That's one thing I hate about TradeAvate. Their drawing tools are terrible. That's why I still use TradingView. Oh, we haven't got that bull flag happening at the moment. See what it does at this level and this level to stay bullish. Bounce off here or a bounce off here, I'd still remain bullish. I'd change your character, but I don't know. I see that they're good indications, but I see these levels broken all the time, especially on a 1 minute. I've got it drawn in because Lux Algo Smart Money Concepts. This is a really good, like, you got to pay for it. This is the unpaid version. I don't really use it for anything. I was using it for FVGs, fair value gaps, etc. But I don't really use any of their stuff anymore. I really like them. They're good. They're a good developer. But they've got a free one. The free one does exactly the same. So once my subscription runs out, I'll just go to the free one. And to be honest, I don't even really need that because I use the who do I use? I use this one, Jacob Mabel. That does enough. That does all the fair value gap areas. And in fact, it probably does ones I don't really need fair value gaps on. I might even look at drawing my own. I might draw my own or create my own one. Got to look into that a bit. Which fair value gaps do I really want? Actually, I know this trader called... Whoops. What's his bloody name? Let me see if I can see it. Look at all those I've favorited over times. You can't say I didn't test stuff. This is mainly on, I was doing mainly most of this stuff testing through Bitcoin. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, he does a stronger... He looks for the stronger fair value gaps and doesn't show some of these internal ones. Maybe he's just doing... I'm going to look into that actually. I might build my own or I'll go back to using his. What was I saying? Yeah, so for me to remain still interested in this move up here, I just want to see maybe... I need to see strength now, sort of from hit this level, or probably this level. Ideally, I don't want to see it come back all the way down. Well, basically, if it stays above the session value high, because that's above this sort of area. So I think the market just needs, because it doesn't just go up. Well, as we all know, it does. Sometimes it does just go up and up and up and up, but it needs liquidity to spur on the next moves. So the next moves, as long as we're sort of staying above here, I still think we're strong, still bullish. If we see a breakdown underneath, then I'm going to be changing my thought pattern. But for now, I still think, because even though I'm going to be going in a short, I need a bullish mindset to still hit these targets. Obviously, because it's got to break the highs here and break through here. If that makes sense, to break our POC. If this was, say, my value high, the previous day value high was closer down here. Well, it's not going to be because it's a POC, but, well, it could. But if it was, well, whatever, if that was a weekly, I'd be not as confident in taking this trade, because I'd be then wanting to know how it reacts to these levels. So I'm just explaining my my plan out loud, not so much for you guys, but more for me to convince myself, because that's the secret of trading. If you're confident with your decision, it's so much easier to take the trade. And look, if I lose this straight out, my trading plan isn't wrong. It went against me, but it's not wrong. It's what I actually wanted. So I sort of like seeing this build up, because I think it's just going to try and sweep here and just do a retrace or fade straight from here. And hopefully not go too deep. It will, like there'll be draw, but I'm sure there's going to be some drawdown, but this is conceptually where I want to set up. Just forerun it a bit, or pre-run it, whatever you want to call it. If I wasn't as confident, I could just do one. But I don't care. It's a eval, so I'll just go in the market now, try and get to a reaction for 2 contracts. But what I was going to suggest is maybe I just see it'll be out of this these highs here. How strong we go in here. Maybe I take one off the market and wait for it to, still with the idea of getting the 2 contracts in, but if there's a good contract, if there's a good solid engulfing candle, that sort of thing, strong candle that goes through, or through here, sorry, through this level, these highs here, I could maybe take one of the contracts up here. But I'm not gonna.
Order filled.
Well, there you go. Okay. Did both get taken? Yes, both taken. Alright, so I'm gonna take one off the table here. 29297. What am I doing? I'm doing a buy.
Order working.
Take one off the table there. maybe a bit higher actually. I just want to get out of one.
Order filled.
Okay, so take that one off. Kill that one. Oh, fuck. Hang on, sorry, I'll do it here.
Order cancelled.
Go move that there. And I want to see this area broken. Ideally. Oh, tagged it. Give it a bit of room. I'm a chicken shit. Go now, go now. Break here. Break here would be nice. Come on, come on. Give me a little bit. Where are we looking? So right, so if we can break down here. Yeah, that's good. So I'll move that to there. Now I'll just do a bit of this, trailing it down. If we can eat up this, we could be in for a good little run down here. Yeah. Probably get taken out here, will I?
Stop filled.
Yeah. Okay. That's alright. I'm happy with that. So what did... That was a cool little... This is what I fucking hate about Tradeovate. So 900, 920 on 3, whatever that is. And 1800 on the 150k count. That was a good little move. Finally. See, AJ knows how to trade sometimes. So, okay, well look, I might end it on a good note. Where do I see the market going? I usually like to end my stream with where I think the market's going. Don't know, to be honest. That could be that high. You know, I was saying Asia likes sweeping the highs and then or taking both directions. Sometimes. That's what I watch for anyway. So that could be the highest point, and we'll start now targeting these lows before London. But if it wants, it might still target up here the rest of this session into London. We shall see. Anyway, look, thanks guys. Anyone who sat through, it was probably worth the wait in the end. If you didn't, well, good luck. I hope you did well. Alright guys, catch ya.